Here we are back again with the Hotboxshow, episode 211.
That's right.
And so we decided to make it quite snug around the table tonight because we've got our full complement of crew. Charles is still here from Cape Town. Dale is here being just Dale. Dan is here being the Grow Man. And we are here bringing you news and views on the world of cannabis in South Africa, live and unpredictable from the Hotbox studio at the Jazz Farm in Johannesburg, South Africa. So that was quite a mouthful. And you know, we've been thinking about the content of the show this week, and it never ceases to amaze me how much there is to talk about.
In 1 week, every time.
In 1 week, because we think, oh, you know, what we're going to scratch around for content for the show. But we never really have to. And tonight, we bring you the absolutely momentous judgment from the Supreme Court of Appeal that happened this past Monday. We'll be speaking to Anthony Rees from TNHA just to unpack that judgment a bit. That is, of course, the judgment about our natural and traditional medicines. And that has the judgment and various events that have happened this week have led us to identify some red flags in the cannabis industry. You know, this whole underlying thing about natural medicines and traditional medicines, everybody knows that at the UN in March, we were bashing on about traditional cannabis and the role of traditional cannabis in the international regulations. And of course, it's always something that is close to our hearts down here in South Africa with our 700 years of cannabis use. So red flags is really the topic of conversation. Yes. Luckily, one red flag has been lowered. Hopefully, we'll get that from Anthony in just a while. But thanks to Joe and Charles, I think they came up with the poll for tonight. Remember that you can go and vote on Facebook, only Facebook. Hello, Facebook viewers. I think Joe said how many people are watching?
We've got on the actual Hotboxshow channel, we've got 13 at the moment.
We've got 8 on YouTube.
Okay, great.
Hello, everybody.
I go over the Gardener and Leonard van der Merwe and Dion.
Hello, Leonard.
Steve, how's it?
Leonard, we see you for twice in 1 day, once virtually and once physically.
Duchess is sending lots of love on Facebook.
Yeah, we're sending all love to everybody who's watching us on this eve of the Easter weekend. It looks like we're going to be having a rainy weekend again. So hunker down, and if you're not watching on Facebook, pop over to Facebook and vote on our poll. Now
on the rainy thing, yes. I just wanted to say, Durban, like
our thoughts
are genuinely with you at this time. We've all got friends and family there. We're all worried.
Yeah, not just the farms that are flooded away, but the homes as
houses,
well.
Yeah.
So if you
are
watching,
settlements, all those places.
If you are watching from Durban, please send our love to everybody around you, and know that up here on higher ground, we certainly are hoping that your communications and that your electricity and that your water at least gets restored as soon as possible. But more about some of the cannabis communities that are rallying around to help some people on the coast. We'll tell you a bit more about that during the Fields of Green for All update. So back to our poll. What is your biggest red flag regarding the cannabis business? If you want to know what red flags are, you know that we're all stuck in a grey area, and there's lots of red flags when it comes to people jumping on the bandwagon. So that's what we mean about red flags. Now, what is your biggest red flag regarding cannabis? Okay, we've all just come fresh out of the Cape Town Expo. We're looking forward to the Expo in Durban. We're hoping that we can really, really rally all of South Africa's cannabis community to come and support the Durban Expo in June.
Restimulate the economy, yeah.
If you're walking around that Cape Town Expo, you do experience red flags. So, what is your biggest red flag word regarding cannabis? First legal weed, first dispensary, first cannabis club first that is first your red flag, or is legal your red flag? First legal weed sold on the street, or is only?
Yeah,
You know, we're the only licensed grow.
Look,
So
the others you see in most emerging markets, but when somebody's trying to label themselves as the only this or only that, they're trying to be the monopoly of some sort.
And
Right?
they don't realise that it's silly.
yeah, exactly.
It's
And
laughable.
red flags certainly do show up. They kind of show people up as not quite being in confident about what they're doing, because we know, for example, cannabis clubs. Those people who are confident about what they are doing do not need to advertise and do not need to spread themselves all over the media, and that includes articles in News 24, Times Live, chats on 702. Look where that got the Haze Club. So if you're confident in what you're doing and you know you're delivering an impeccable product within the confines of the 2018 judgment, then you should be fine.
Yeah, be
And
humble.
if you've got enough friends,
Be humble.
yeah, be humble. And we've always said if you need to advertise as a club, it means you haven't got enough friends.
Yeah.
So red flags,
Straight.
is first your best one, or is legal your best one, or is only your best one?
And a lot of the time we're seeing the words first.
Or worst one.
There's already like 20 of the
Yeah,
same kind of
20
business, but they
firsts.
think they're the
They
first.
clearly didn't do their research.
Yeah,
Maybe
it shows.
in your own dorpy, you're the
It
first
reflects
one.
bad on the journalist that publishes that story, because really it's
Yeah.
like such cut copy
But
work.
journalism is dead
And it
anyway.
reflects on the person that the story is about. It makes you look completely out of touch and unprofessional about the industry that you're in. Because you
Yeah.
think you're now in the cannabis industry and you've got the first pharmacy, you've got a lot of lessons to
Yeah.
learn.
I think you can only be the first in retrospect,
Yes.
you know?
Yeah.
Like at Fields of Green, we really reticent to say we were the first cannabis non-profit company. But we were actually,
Yeah.
you know, but we never used that. At Fields of Green, we were the first.
It's not your trump card that you
Because
can't
it doesn't
go out.
matter.
Because it's
Doesn't matter,
juvenile.
'cause
So I was
somebody
the
had-
first.
Somebody had to do the job.
Look,
You
I
know?
do like to brag every now and then about us being the only, like literal, actual only cannabis non-profit that's with EcoSoc status, acknowledged by the United Nations in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah. That's quite
Not
a
just
big.
in our little dorpy,
Yeah.
on the whole planet.
On the
Yeah.
whole entire ball.
Yeah, but it's also, you know, nothing that we only trumpet that when we need to, you know. So if we're trying to make a big cannabis point in our little videos that we send into the UN, then we'll say we're the only. But you'll very rarely say that in our run-of-the-mill communications with everybody, because we don't need to, you know.
It's not a big deal for us.
I think that those terms are
It's a little
all
bit of a big deal.
superfluous.
Yeah.
Really, it should all be about the quality of the product and the service and
Exactly.
all of
Well,
that, not
But it gives a
about
false.
fame.
It gives like a false sort of sense of what you actually do.
Yeah,
If you say I'm the first, people think, well,
Question
these
your
guys
intentions.
must be so good, but they could be terrible at what they're
So
doing.
we're going to delve a little bit
Even
deeper
if they
into
say
that
that.
just now,
Yeah.
All right.
I think, before we cover
We
the
love this
entire
subject.
topic.
Yeah, we're going into it straight away. We should
Yeah.
just get to the next one.
So
then,
our
yeah.
first, only, and
Legal.
not legal, but legal for our own private consumption here in the Hotbox studio. Okay, so actually legal, first only, Dan Cam featured Bud this morning, this evening.
It's morning somewhere
This
in the
morning,
world.
yeah, exactly. Is something that looks pretty delicious underneath the dank can there, Dan.
It is quite delicious. So we have been lucky enough to get some.
Blessed. We're always blessed. And let us know what you guys are blessed with.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
called Sherb Crasher.
Oh, it looks
Let me
sherbery.
try and get it up here.
Sherberocious.
Yeah. That does look nice.
Oh, wow.
I'm
That
actually,
is, you know, because sometimes on the dank cam it's quite difficult to see how how crystally it is, but that is really.
I think this has got enough to compensate for the camera not showing.
I mean, this one you can almost smell through
Yeah.
the screen.
Fantastic color.
So
eh?
now the place where we got this will remain unnamed because they're doing incredibly well with a very, very, very private club.
And that's it. And that's the point of it.
That's all that we need to
That's
say.
exactly
And
Yeah.
right.
somehow they
Beautiful
know what Dan really likes, and he usually likes the sherbs, right?
I like
Somehow
good
they
weed.
know.
That's what I like. So at the end of the day,
Quality, mate. Quality.
you know, you get. Yeah, well, again, I mean, I guess on that topic, you get clubs that are catering for all types of people, which is great.
Yes.
The guys that want a certain level of smoke, the guys that just want any kind of smoke, and the guys that aren't really phased type thing, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's
Nice.
good weed.
Cool. Good weed.
I saw it
that?
and I was like, I want some, so I got it.
Well, that smells amazing.
Yeah.
You smelt it.
Sherb Crasher.
And Dan, was it a gift or did you pay for it?
It was a gift.
It was a gift.
Yes,
Good.
it was. I saw it and I
Yeah.
thought this is really good, and they were like, well, you go and try that. So,
And
yeah.
it's super tasty
Yeah.
too, right?
It's really dense buds.
I think it's very distinctive too. So if you've ever smoked this, you should know where it comes from, because I think it's pretty unique and top drawer. So we're going to roll that up and roll in Anthony Rees, please.
Yes.
Hello, Hotbox. It's Chris J. Warren's there. Hello, Amy, there in the corner. Hello, Warren. We're coming down to your neck of the woods in 2 weeks' time.
Warren's got
to
a...
PE.
Warren's got a good point that he says there. He says, what about the last? We need the last person not to get arrested.
Yes, thank you.
That is a really good one.
Because we've recently seen there's the news about the first legal dispensaries and so on. But like, I'm happy to see that progress, because it is progress. But I'm happy to see that progress when the rest of our people aren't being arrested anymore.
When the Drugs Act is changed.
Why are they too privileged that they can sell the very same herb that the rest of us are trying to sell?
Because there's two different laws. There's one law for those that are sick, and there's one law for those that are healthy. Because they changed the Medicines Act. Remember, they changed it in May 2020. You know, that's quite a while ago. But speaking about changing acts and changing laws, we have Anthony Rees standing by, and just a little background to this. The Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein passed down a judgment which was a unanimous judgment. That is always significant. Remember, the 2018 judgment was also unanimous, and it was a unanimous judgment with costs, which we always like. For the Anthony will tell me the full name of the organization, but under the banner of the Traditional and Natural Healers Association, to take the regulation of natural and traditional medicines away from SAPRA. That's the bottom line, but to explain it much better than I ever could. Hello, Ant.
How's it, guys? Nice to be with you again.
So nice to see you.
Yes, I'm going to brag and I'm going to be facetious. I'm going to say this is the first interview.
Some firsts are wonderful.
Yeah, we saw your article in Times Live and we certainly shared it all over the place, but they are not usually our favorite publication. So that's why we decided we need the man in the flesh. So, Anthony, first, in one short sentence, what happened on Monday in Bloemfontein?
Well, the Supreme Court of Appeal finally delivered a judgment on how natural health products in South Africa should be regulated, and made a very clear distinction on what is a medicine and what is not a medicine, because our regulator, the South African Health Products Regulatory Authority, or otherwise known as the SAPRA, have misinterpreted the very sort of finite definition of a medicine in the Act and extended it beyond what the legislators and lawmakers intended in 1965 when the Medicines Act was first published. So essentially, the Supreme Court unanimously ruled that natural health products that are not therapeutic or making claims to treat diseases and reverse the course of diseases and prevent diseases are not medicines per se. Yes. Whereas up until now, the regulator has said that all natural products, animal, mineral, or vegetable, are medicines that are found in health stores, pharmacies, online, etc. Even boereraad that's been used by certain sections of the population, African traditional medicines used by 75% of the population, etc. A large swathe of these products have now been yanked out of the control of the Medicines Act.
Okay.
Great.
It's absolutely fantastic
exciting.
news. Now, just rolling back the years a little bit, I think that the first time that we got to know about you, your organization, and your work was in the days of Mario Ambrosini, Robin Strancham Ford. That is when we got to meet people like Torin Wing, and other people in the, I don't know who I've left out, but other people in that Cape Town crowd who were, we must always remember that the Medical Innovation Bill of 2014 was never about cannabis. And I think that is when we first got to learn about natural medicines as a whole issue. So can you just fill us in a little bit on the history? When did you first make this application, and why? And a little bit of history over the years, because this didn't happen quickly.
Okay. I myself, I'm a naturopath and a herbalist. I've been practicing since, going back to probably 1993, 1994. We were already experiencing problems with the former Medicines Control Council, which has now become the SAPRA, in walking into health stores and practices all over the country with shopping baskets and trolleys, just wiping products off the shelves, saying they are illegal, and taking companies to task, arresting people, going into homes of practitioners and arresting practitioners. It's been a real problem for over 30 years now that there's been this persecution of natural medicine by the drug regulator in this country. I started this health freedom effort with a man by the name of Stuart Thompson, who runs a natural health care company which was called Gaia Research at the time. I've been thrown out of Parliament. We've been arrested in Parliament.
Yay.
We've had our documentation on corruption on the Medicines Control Council removed by the police in the Chamber of Parliament. So this goes back years and years and years, from 1996 when I actually started this fight against the overzealous regulation of natural health products. I then went to Canada for a number of years and got involved with their struggle to have natural health products regulated in an appropriate way. And I was very involved in that process in the seminal discussions with government at that time to bring in a fair and just regulatory model in Canada. And then came back to South Africa and realized that, I had to get involved here and liberate these products and stop this draconian regulation, which threatens to essentially destroy a large industry and take away people's right to access these types of products. So I got involved again, as you say, with Mario Ambrosini, Robin Strancham Ford, Torin Wing, and all these people came together and said, we need to defend the right of the public to access these types of products, because we saw Big Pharma buying out a lot of natural health care companies. There were large acquisitions happening. The regulator was talking about bringing in stringent regulation, which would only suit large pharmaceutical companies. And the Medical Innovation Bill at that point was tabled in Parliament by Mario Ambrosini. And I decided at that point we would start the Traditional and Natural Health Alliance, which is a broad umbrella group that would bring the natural health products industry under its wing and start the fight back to reclaim our rights. And the culmination of all of that ended now this week on Monday with a fantastic court order from the Supreme Court of Appeal.
Great, and I just have to ask, is there any chance that they can appeal to the Constitution? And do you think they would?
The SAPRA are very belligerent. They really have the superiority attitude. In court, they even talk about themselves as having superior knowledge and this kind of nonsense. I'm not sure if they are going to be successful. I don't think the court will give them the leave to appeal.
Yeah.
For the simple fact that it was a unanimous decision of all 5 judges on the bench. It was a very, very short and sweet judgment. And I don't think there's any constitutional grounds or apex arguments on constitution that the minister or the SAPRA can rely on to advance it through to the Con Court.
So
I'd be very surprised if they tried to. With regulations that have been declared unlawful. It would put them in a very precarious situation, and it will give us the opportunity to sue them for costs and damages should they ever try to get these regulations foisted on the industry.
And do you think that, because we know that one of the things has been this embargo at customs of all the, the actual products, the hardware of your businesses. Do you think that they'll be able to lift that? They'll lift that without a fight?
I think they would have to lift it. I mean, it is not for the SAPRA to decide what is and is not a medicine now.
Yes.
So the arbitrary thumb-sucking that they've been doing up until now by saying, okay, your product can come in, your product can't go in, that is now clearly delineated by this judgment. And we believe if they try to continue to enforce regulation that has been declared invalid on companies, and companies are going to suffer financially as a result of this. There are going to be huge claims and court cases against the SAHPRA for reparation. We are already having a tremendous amount of companies in the industry coming to us asking if we would proceed in reparation claims against the SAHPRA.
Yeah, no, it is, because it's been so many years, and I mean, we know people, you and I and the people, everybody around here knows people who have lost a lot of money over the years. And then, if you don't mind, I'm going to put you on the spot a bit. What do you think that this could possibly, off the top of your head, mean for cannabis?
Well, the only thing I can speak to is CBD at this present point, and I was very involved, as you know, with the whole CBD descheduling from Schedule 4 to Schedule 0 as a complementary medicine. But the complementary medicine regulations have fallen, according to this ruling. So where is cannabis? Where is THC? Where is CBD? Well, the plant itself should not be discriminated against, I don't believe, from all other plants. The plant is like any, whether it's echinacea or it's moringa or whatever it is.
And
you can't discriminate one plant from another.
No, there will be no plant apartheid.
No, so maybe this has just removed cannabis from SAHPRA completely because it's a plant medicine.
Well, not technically, no, because it's still a scheduled substance.
Yeah.
And what makes a medicine can be two things. One is has the product or been called up for registration, number one, and has it been scheduled, number two. Yeah. And unfortunately, cannabis still sits in the Schedule 6 and is problematic in that regard, and they still got that hook line into it in terms of scheduling. CBD, who knows where that one's going to fit. There is no such thing as Schedule 0, in my opinion, which is some fictitious schedule that they created over the last few years to basically throw all animal minerals and vegetables into a Schedule 0 basket to regulate it.
Yeah.
There are thousands of scheduled medicines in this country, from grandpa powders, across the board. And all other scheduled medicines are actually listed and put out in the public domain by the regulator in a register online, except for Schedule 0. So there is no register. It's a complete fiction that they created. And that's something we will be looking at going forward to challenge the validity of Schedule 0.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's currently where a large swathe of low potency CBD products are sitting currently.
Okay. Very interesting, because on an international level, CBD has been taken out of the schedules completely. And in our last round of talks at the United Nations, and I'll explain this a bit more in our Fields of Green update just now. The other day we had informal dialogues, civil society informal dialogues with the WHO, because they couldn't fit it in the meetings in March. So, and there was some issues. So we had it the other day. It was on Tuesday, and we got from the head of the WHO, myself personally, sitting there on Zoom. He said we will have to speak about this offline because it's too big of a subject, because we're hammering on about traditional and natural cannabis that we've been using for 700 years. So it is kind of inching along there, and I'm glad to know that you are tackling the Schedule 0 issue, and we certainly will. It's one of our big things that we have to do going forward, is to actually have cannabis that does not make a claim to be registered as a traditional and natural medicine. But that's a big job. But we'll, with people like you
we'll all eat the cookie
around,
from all the edges.
Yep.
Yeah.
We will eat that elephant with chopsticks. And I know that after you sent me the news, I spread it all around, certainly all of our legal eagles all around the country. I know that you managed to let Ricky Stone know before I let him know. So, so everybody is super excited, and we would just like to say, Anthony, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. We really salute you personally.
You're a legend.
Yeah.
South Africa, do you understand how much respect this man deserves?
Yes, 100%.
Like, genuinely.
And
Thanks, guys. One thing I wanted to bring to our attention of everybody is the new threat on the horizon. And this is something I've never talked about, and I'm bringing it to you fresh. And that is the establishment of the African Union Medicines Agency. We have a huge threat currently in that large corporates, big pharma, and Western countries are pouring a tremendous amount of money into the establishment of a Pan-African Medicines Regulatory Agency that will essentially take over the job of the regulation and harmonization of medicines law across the entire African continent. This agency is about to be born. South Africa is not yet a signatory to the final treaty. But therein, they have a thing called the Model Law for Pharmaceutical Regulation, which incorporates traditional and natural health products and would possibly even include cannabis as well. So this is something we're going to have to look at going forward, because a lot of the fights that we've been having with government locally, we've dealt with on a domestic level through our domestic courts. But things may get a little bit more difficult in future, where we would have to go to the African Union Court, for instance, in Addis Ababa to fight issues, and have to take our fight, not only the one that you are involved with, the one we're involved with as well for whole natural medicine, to a new level. So that's new stuff coming up, and I will be quite happy to come back and have a discussion with you at a later stage about that. So the fight isn't over. This is the first battle for the traditional and natural health products that's been won, but I'm sure there's going to be headwinds ahead.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Anthony. I mean, there's always another battle to fight, but I certainly think we're hearing that news. I have heard whispers of this on our international groups about this African Medicines Agency, but at least we can rest assured that Fields of Green for All does have our EcoSoc status. We are in contact with people from the African Union. We do know about this, and we can maybe hop, skip, and jump over the African Union and start bleating about it in the hallowed halls of the United Nations, because out of the 151 member states, there are some very powerful African states within that, and they always like to hear about things from Africa. So we certainly have got every single time Fields of Green for All has applied to ask a question or make a comment, we've always been accepted, because nobody else from Southern Africa and civil society talks. They're not there. They're not in the meetings. So please lean on us. If there's something you want to say to the WHO, to the INCB, to any of those people, let us know, and we'll make sure that we get it across, through our forum.
United we stand, to quote an old phrase.
Yeah. So, Anthony, thank you very much.
We're going to have to galvanize civil society now, and get the NGOs and NPOs in the right position to actually sit at the table at that forum at the right time.
Yeah. Thank you, Ant, and we look forward to many years of fighting together. Even though
too many years
I know that all of us are pretty exhausted, but at least we've got an Easter weekend ahead. So thank you so much for giving up your Thursday evening for us, and off you go and eat Easter eggs and have a great weekend. Thanks, Ant.
Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Lovely
bye.
weekend. Bless you all. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
And many healers get to carry on doing what they've been doing.
Exactly.
You know, that's the main thing. It is a huge case. This is big news.
That is big
It
news.
is. And it's, we're fighting against hundreds of years of the colonial capture of our plants and our herbs and our medicines and all of that. So
we're tripping over red flags out there.
Yeah.
What did he say? Laws that go back to 1965.
Yes, so the Medicines Act was from 1965. Can you believe that they've never
thought to change it or even review it or have a...
The entire world has changed so much since then.
No, why should we change it?
Yeah.
It serves our purpose.
Yeah.
But I must say that it's great to have some good news now just before the Easter weekend. And then we were speaking a little bit earlier about the people in Durban. So as the first part of that obviously speaking to Anthony was part of the Fields of Green update. But just to say that I'm sure most of you out there know Juanita Booley, who used to be from the Eastern Cape. She's now based in Cape Town. And she started an organization called the Cannabis Community Commission, Triple C.
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Anyway, Juanita's been working on the sidelines for a very long time. She's worked with Jeremy Acton in the Daka Party, and she is an activist in Cape Town. And she will be taking up the reins for a collection of non-perishable foods and blankets in the Cape Town area. So please watch our socials. I know that Nati Tamati has volunteered and is donating the petrol to actually take these physical things to the people in the Mzimvubu Valley outside Port St. John's. I think that the cannabis community is doing whatever they can, as well as sending lots and lots of love to all the people all the way along the coast that have been affected. But this is a small gesture from the people in Cape Town. It doesn't make sense to collect stuff in Joburg. It's 10 hours drive away. Petrol is 20 rand a litre. So the Gauteng people will do what they can.
Yeah.
But you can find Juanita Booley on Facebook, Instagram. She's all over the place.
There's lots of people who want to donate money or goods. Like, donate it to that or to Gift of the Givers. Give it to someone where you know that the actual money and goods are going to end up where they need to be and not in somebody's back pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you can reach out to either Nati Tamati, Juanita. You can reach out to Simon Strainhunter. There's quite a few people on our little Ponderland flood relief group right now. And I think even if it's a small gesture of 50 rand, I think that it would really help just to send the love. It's very tight for everybody right now, but let's just send a bit of love. You know that in Ponderland there's an area where they grow the landrace sativas, as it were, and then there's a belt along the coast which is known as the indica fields. Okay, and they have a different kind of crop rotation, they have different flowering times, they have different everything, and both of those lots of people have been affected, but it's much more difficult to get to the people in the Mzimvubu Valley basin is enormous. It's enormous, it's a huge area. And I mean, the whole of KZN is an enormous area. Yeah. So what we do know is both those groups of cannabis farmers in Ponderland have been severely affected. And we've got people on the ground that are with those people. So we promise you that even if you can only afford 50 rand, reach out on Facebook, find out what to do.
So even Simon Strainhunter couldn't get home because of landslides.
Yeah. So every little bit of help. Now it feels like we did the Dankam about half an hour ago.
I wanted to ask what happened to the Dankam joint. Where's the joint that we were rolling?
The dab then in some gear. Quite a little this way.
I have a lighter
here.
here.
Time just now because we've been really chatty. Are we going to chat about some red flags quickly?
So, just to get back to our red flag thing. I mean, obviously we've got lots and lots of red flags of regulations and laws. And
we had a blog about it already.
Yeah. So what was the name of the blog again, so people can find it on?
Fake Firsts.
That's right. Remember that? Yeah.
Something about unicorn licenses. I wrote it. I'll have to go back and look for it.
Search Fake First under our blog page on Fields of Green for All. But it just seems to have been a week of news reports of first this and first that. And as we said, if you've got to shout about it, then you're most probably not really the first, or really the only, or the only legal,
Or your
or
intentions
whatever.
are not in the right
Or your
place.
intentions are not in the right place. And I was having a great chat, Charlotte and I were having a great chat to Brett Hilton Barber from Cannabis Africa.
Love your work.
Love their work, you know.
Love your work.
When you think that Cannabis Africa bring out about 8 articles a week, and if you've ever written one article, you know what it takes. Sometimes they don't quite hit the mark. So that was what our conversation was about. It was about these red flags. And he said something that was so true. He said, oh, well, those that shout the loudest get the publicity. So that's why we thought we'd speak about it tonight.
Yeah.
know,
It's just, I get a bit
Don't always
irritated when I
take
see
people on
first
face value.
in the
You
media.
know, don't always take people on face value.
Read
Just
things
because-
twice and put
Just
on your.
because it's in News 24 Times Live doesn't mean
Yeah.
to say that it's true.
Always have your bullshit detector with you. That's what Laurie Anderson said.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, that's
A lot
all
of
it,
bullshitters out there now.
Oh,
yeah.
A
Now look,
lot.
I see on
It's just
social
gonna get
media when
fancy
people
address.
start with like first
More
day people
pencils.
club into them.
More fireworks.
Yeah,
you
then
know.
you know there must be
Usually a
something up.
sign.
Yeah.
Because if you have something good, you won't need to shout about it. Because people will
Yeah,
just
exactly.
know.
Well, that's it.
And
Spend
it's-
that energy focusing on your product and your service instead of yelling first.
Yeah, it's
only,
embarrassing
number one.
if somebody thinks that it's good
Yeah, well,
marketing and
let's all
it's
look back.
actually
And
bad
have
marketing.
order.
Yeah,
And-
That's the problem.
it insults the rest of the industry to say that you're
And I
first.
absolutely love what Warren said. When are we going to get the last? Oh, really, I think that the last person to be arrested, really, we thought the last person to be arrested was years ago.
Yeah,
I
2018.
think
we
we'll
thought.
have a special prize for that last person to be arrested. Should be given R1 million by the government to start a business.
Yeah.
You know?
And a free license if,
Yeah.
if they
And
insist on that
It's
shit.
interesting what Anne said, that they're also looking, these big companies, because, you know, while there's a lot of money in the cannabis industry, there is a hell of a lot of money in traditional and natural medicine,
Yeah,
particularly natural medicine.
huge.
There's big companies. I mean, I don't really want to name names, that's not my place, but there were some big, particularly distributors and retailers in South Africa who supported Anthony's court. I'm not sure exactly who, I've only got hearsay. I think that it's about time that those big players in the cannabis industry also started to
Raise
support,
their voices.
you know.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. There's something that we're working on. We'll wait
Yes, we have
until
some.
after D-Day and after the craziness of April is over, and then we're going to be looking at reaching out to some of those big
I
companies.
complained the hardest, so I got the joint tonight.
Yay, well done, Charles.
In Dhaka, in our community, if you really knew what attention you'd be getting from calling yourself the first and the best, you wouldn't be saying it. Because you don't
Exactly.
realize how many people are all of a sudden watching what you're doing.
It's generally,
Yeah.
you know, it's generally the people that have no idea about the industry, like you're saying earlier, how
Yeah.
people that have been doing this for the longest, for the pure passion and wanting to be here because we have. We're looking at it from the outside now, looking at all these people that are
Yeah.
jumping in here with money, and they just see money. They don't actually have passion for the plant, so they jump in and they say, well, we'll be the first to do this and the first that. They're not realizing that it doesn't work like this in this industry. We don't give a shit about your first. Bring out the product and make it really good, or make it right, or make it encompassing the whole entire community.
Yeah.
Then we're going to recognize you. We're not going to really recognize you say you're the first. We've heard it too many times,
Yeah.
and we don't give a shit about the first anymore. It's not, you know, we're not even the first here in South Africa. We're the
We're
people
not.
that do the first of anything here. We're still behind the rest of the world that's done it already. So we just
Exactly.
So what does your first mean?
exactly.
In my business courses, I learned that for your business to be successful, or it would help a lot to be successful if you have a unique value proposition.
That's it.
And to say that you're the first, it's not a unique, because it's a lie. Everybody knows it's a lie. So you can't lie about your unique value. That's
No.
like a
Say,
big
yeah.
mistake to make for
Rather
business.
just call the unique value out and say, this is what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plain simple.
Exactly. Yeah.
the
And be
first to do
confident
it.
enough.
It's like
You get
you're
a
saying,
lot more
I'm the
respect.
first to do this, so then you almost anticipate that someone's going to chase behind you and be right behind you. Well,
Yeah. Or you need some fucking medal or something.
yes, you need
Yeah.
validation to say that, oh, great, you guys get it.
Everyone
Yeah.
gets gold stars on Tuesday.
It's a gold star on your forehead for the first few
Yeah,
days, and
yeah.
then it wears off because your shit ain't
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
shit.
and the plant's going to get you, because the
Still
plant
stays.
doesn't allow
Yeah.
itself to be messed
Yeah,
around.
yeah,
You
yeah.
can't lie about the plant.
But the word only, guys, only. I think
Yeah.
for
Only
me
for
is the answer.
legal.
I
Yeah.
think what we're going
Don't
to
forget to vote in
do
the poll
tonight
on Facebook.
is we're going to unfortunately skip Instagram and growing with your buds because I tell you here at the Hotboxshow we have load shedding in 15 minutes. So we just want to be able to get everybody out and safe and home before all the lights go out. So what we will do is we will be looking at Instagram and we're going to choose a winner and we're going to announce it on D-Day.
Yes.
Which is next Wednesday. You know that for the last 10 years, 420 has always been D-Day. It's been our Dacha Day because when we had the very first D-Day party, we weren't allowed to put the word Dacha or cannabis on any of the publicity. We couldn't even have a leaf. So if you look back on our D-Day page on the Fields of Green for All website, you'll see that there's not even a leaf on the poster, nothing about cannabis.
Only clouds.
So D-Day is kind of stuck. We know that lots of people around the country are going to be celebrating D-Day in different ways. We are going to having a small private celebration here at the Jazz Farm. If you are a member of Fields of Green for All mailing list, or maybe the Jazz Farm mailing list, or
The Green Network.
you know who we are, or you are our friends, or you know somebody who knows somebody, we hope that we will be able to see you here on Wednesday for a small private celebration. But wherever you are in the country, we're wishing you an incredibly happy 420 on Wednesday. And we will be doing, as the Hotbox Show, a few little live sessions throughout the day. We haven't quite got it all sorted out.
In lieu of a Thursday.
Yes.
Because we won't have a show next week.
We'll see you Wednesday through the day.
Yeah, there won't be a show next week. Please remember there won't be. So don't nag us at 7
Might have a
o'clock.
little couch somewhere.
Yeah.
But keep your notifications
We might
on.
surprise you with a quick
Yeah.
flash
If you've-
broadcast.
If you've already liked and subscribed to the Hotbox Show, then keep your notifications on, because whatever you're doing on 420, even if you poor bugger are at work, you can keep the notifications on, and we'll surprise you throughout the day with little lives and make you jealous about the huge dabs that we're hitting.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make you jealous about this beautiful sherby stuff I'm about to
it's
smoke.
It's delicious, very
So
tasty.
can I go over what a few other people
Yes,
are doing
so
over
Joe's
D-Day?
gonna-
So I'm covering the next 2 weekends, and I'm doing it as fast as I can. Saturday the 16th of April, Magic Mushroom March in Cape Town from 9 a.m. dachaparty.org.za for more details. There is also Wax On, Wax Off at Mary Jane's Hacienda, Kensington, Joburg. This is a strictly vinyl evening to honour the roots of DJing as a craft and take it back to basics. $70 on Hala, $100 at the door.
Sick.
Friday the 22nd of April, GT Hydroponics and Golden Goose are hosting a 420
If you can
day.
make it, you'll see some of us there. We're going to go and
We'll
support one of
definitely
our
be there.
oldest affiliates.
They're going to have free Bory rolls, free beer, beer pong. There's going to be discounts on lights and newts and everything. Golden Goose, there's an Instagram competition. Enter that, stand a chance to win their custom Golden Goose bong that you can see on the Dabrig, sorry, with 10 grand. Then,
From Praxis.
then on Saturday the 23rd of April, there's Puff Puff Paint at Coffee to Grow. This is the canvas edition. All painting supplies will be provided, as well as a free wake and bake. No under 18, starts 10 a.m. Booking is essential. East London, there's the 420 Market Days at Cypress Dale. It's all weekend. 23rd and 24th of April, day pass $100, weekend pass 120. This is going to be everything you expect at a market.
No under
Food, crafts,
21s.
music, everything. And then the last thing I'm going to talk about coming up beyond that is the East Coast Canna Cup and Expo, 29th of April to the 1st of May.
Yay, Robin
Wacky
and I are
Woods River
going.
Resort.
So thank you very, very much to the organisers of the East Coast Cannabis Cup. We're going to be doing, obviously, a few lives from when we're down there. I'm very, very pleased that our dear webmaster and fellow director at Fields of Green for All is eventually managing to tear herself away from all of her hard work and her busy farm to come with me down to PE. We have been sponsored the plane tickets and the accommodation, so we thank you very much. And not next week, but the week after, we will remind you and also look on our socials. If you are in PE, please support the East Coast Cannabis Cup. I think entries are still open. I think they are, and we're looking forward to seeing all of our PE friends, of which there are loads. And we're hoping that the people from London can drive down to PE because it's not really that far. We're hoping we can see Warren and Tricosa and all of those lovely people. What about the people
I think
from
Simon
Stinson?
Strainhunter's going to be there.
Yeah, Mossel Bay, Jeffreys Bay, all those people should go.
Yes, it's not so far.
You can drive there all the way from Plet.
But more about that, obviously, on our socials and on our blog. We're going to be writing blog there as soon as they send us the publicity. So it being a red flag kind of Good Friday Eve sort of thing, what is your worst red flag? Okay? Biggest red flag, worst red flag. We had a whole lot of votes, and first got 13%.
Okay.
Legal got 47% and only got 40.
Legal.
Yeah.
So legal
People
is the
don't like
most
legal.
irritating
Yeah,
thing.
people don't like legal. I think that legal would sticks in my throat.
Also,
Yeah.
same.
You're not, if you're not legal, you're not legal.
Yeah.
It's like I got permission.
And
The
yeah.
teacher said I can.
Yeah.
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 You know?
Clause 21 said I
hated
can.
those guys at school.
Yeah.
So
No,
it certainly got the
nobody
most
liked
votes,
them.
and it's something that sticks up our noses the most. Remember the first legal weed? Remember that debacle from a few years ago? Oh,
And the first
the
cards.
first legal weed.
And the first cards, the first medical
The
cards.
first medical cards and all of that.
The ones that
Don't
get
pass
picked up by
us.
the cops because they're not actually a card. You don't get a card, you get a document.
And I think first is just pathetic because we're beyond any firsts right now, other than South Africa being the first country to prohibit cannabis in 1878 on the word of one British doctor.
Yes.
There we
That
are
we can
first.
say first.
That's a
And that's not
first.
exactly
That
a happy
was
first.
That's
not
a
a good
first.
one.
Anyway,
It's a
we're running
bad
out of
one, yeah.
time, guys. We're going to be
In the
left out
dark
of the
soon.
just now.
I know we've got to go, and please join us on our live feeds if you can't join us here at the Daz Farm next Wednesday for D-Day number 10. Of course, we are not advertising this event on social media. That's why we're just sneaking it into the Hotbox Show. You know there are a gazillion ways to get hold of us. Get
you
hold
know,
of
you
Shaw,
know.
get hold of Dale, get hold of Dan, get hold of Joe, because they're each going to sign off now as we go off on our long weekend.
I'm going to steal Dale's one. Know your rights.
Happy 420 for next
Ah,
week.
you got one.
Nice. Make cash faster.
Oh, good one.
Stay safe and choose happy.
I need you to light one up for Jules, and particularly on 420 next Wednesday.
It has
Love
to be
you all.
that size.
Lots of
Big
dabs.
one.
Yeah,
Lots of dabs. Lots
Banana
of dabs.
boat.
Yeah.